I feel like most of our suffering comes from not understanding how the mind works. And most of happiness, fulfillment, and prosperity comes unconsciously without realizing why it comes about. Most people succeed by accident, because I don't believe in accidents, but they're using certain universal principles without realizing that's what they're doing. So what do I mean by this? We have unconscious competence, where you're unconscious how the mind works, but you're using certain universal principles to attract something. So you're letting out a certain frequency to bring something towards you. Then we have unconscious incompetence. This is where you don't know how the mind works, you don't know how the universal principles of the universe work. And a lot of us are in this place with a lot of things in our life. And we want to get from being unconsciously incompetent, from unconsciously competent, because unconscious competence is good. You get some results, you're using certain principles, but you don't know how it works. So you can't duplicate that process. You can't, reenact it in other areas of your life. You're restricted to just following those steps that you took and doing that thing by accident. We want to take that to being conscious. So right now that I've explained certain things, you're now becoming consciously incompetent. So you're conscious. Okay, you're conscious that the mind works. You're conscious that there's certain universal principles that are making things flow. You might have already been conscious of these things, but maybe you're consciously incompetent, where you're conscious of these things, but you don't understand them to their entirety, and therefore, struggle to utilize them, utilize these universal laws that are flowing through all of us. They're working for all of us, whether that be good or bad, positive, negative, up, down, left, right, in, out, good, evil, all of the contrast in life, because life's about contrast, but that's a topic for another day. We want to take that to being consciously competent, where you're conscious, right? You know how the mind works. You know these universal principles. You know how they work, and you're competent at utilizing them. And this is why you've always got to study. Like, I'm always reading every day, watching videos every day, flying around the world, going to different seminars, injecting knowledge into my mind, and then turning that from knowledge in the conscious mind, integrating it into wisdom in the subconscious via feeling and an emotion. Because knowledge is knowing, wisdom is doing. They're two completely different things, but that's another topic for another day as well. So we want to get to being consciously competent. Now, once we're consciously competent, right, it then comes down to how competent are we? How strong are we at using the knowledge that we've acquired into our mind? How much of it have we converted into wisdom? And so this is what I want to do in this Mind Elevation series. I want to explain these principles, how the mind works, teach people. This is what I do with my clients that I coach on a one-on-one. And I also have events. My first event called Elevate and Evolving Consciousness. Click the link in the bio if you want to get tickets. You can still come down, or you can stream it online worldwide if you'd like. And if not this one, then there'll be loads. Or if you're watching this after the 7th of April, I'm going to continuously do them. But this is my purpose. This is my passion, to communicate knowledge to people so that they can elevate themselves. And I'm passionate about it. There's, money's good, right? Not in terms of it as a currency. It's a man-made concept that doesn't really exist. It's a piece of paper. However, what we can utilize that money for in terms of resources, we can utilize it for good. We can put food into people's mouths. We can put water into places. We can build schools, hospitals, different organizations. We can give back to the planet. Because, I'm not going to get onto the government, but I think it's up to us to take that responsibility as a people and really unite and build things, right? So making money is necessary, but the fulfillment I get from working one-to-one with a person and helping them achieve their goals far supersedes anything. And it's about finding fulfillment in life, finding purpose, And to do that, to utilize your purpose, to feel fulfilled, one must understand how the mind works if you want to consciously, competently do this. Some people have stumbled across their purpose unconsciously, unconscious competence, but that's far and few between. So I want to teach these principles so everybody can do it. And it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to rewire your mind. You're going to have to build. You're going to have to understand how the mind works, overcome emotions, certain challenges. But we're going to do this together. I'm here to guide. I'm here to support. I'm here to share. I've got you. I've got you. Okay? Now, the things that I teach, I always explain them everything is mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Yeah? So I utilize all of these different concepts and always deliver information. So I'm going to explain the science behind everything. Not only what to do to rewire the mind, but how it works and why it works, so that everybody can understand it. This is the best way that I learn, and I found it's the best way that all of the clients that I work with learn also. Now, some of the principles that I go through, you're going to already know. And I hope you already know. But it's not about knowledge. I teach this to everybody. It's not about intellectual comprehension, it's about emotional integration. So a lot of the things that I speak to about people, you know, in conversations, or people explain things to me, I already know. But you'll never hear me go, I know. Yeah, no, I know. Because it doesn't matter what you know. It matters what you've emotionally integrated. And if you have emotionally integrated it, the universe wouldn't be repeating it back through myself or through someone else. Because the universe, God, source, whatever label you want to label the Most High, always speaks through people, music, signs, feelings, emotions. And so if you intellectually comprehend something, but you haven't emotionally integrated it, the universe is going to repeat that back to you for a reason. Repetition is how we rewire the subconscious mind. Repetition is key. So integrate this knowledge, integrate the information, integrate the things that I share, do more research, study. You know, I watch the same video. If I find a good video, I watch it over and 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 over again. Same with books, read them over and over. I'm not going to do that again, but you know, so yeah, be patient with yourself, practice humility, and when you find good content, keep restudying that. Elevate the mind elevation. Now, humans, we're born and we don't have a clue what's going on most of the time, because we don't have parents that sit us down and say, all right, son, daughter, this is how the world works. This is how your mind works. This is how to process emotions. Everybody knows it. We live in a healthy environment where we can all integrate this together. It doesn't work like that. We kind of just stumble through, you know, childhood, stumble through adolescence, stumble through life, just stumble about the place. And if we do accomplish, the majority of the time it's unconscious competence. Now, machines, when they're created with an instruction manual. You get given the machine, whatever it is, you know, say an oven, a washing machine, a fridge, whatever, right? Any machine, you get given an instruction manual. This is how to build it. This is how it works. This is the functionalities behind this technology. We are the most advanced machine on this planet. We're made from electromagnetic currencies. Everything in the universe is vibration. This is all electric currencies. You and me, electricity. You know, we can feel each other from the heart center. But there's a science behind all of this as well. Some people are like, oh, that's nonsense. That's mumbo jumbo. Law of attraction taught certain principles, e.g. the law of attraction, they work on a scientific level. If you start to study quantum physics, they just need to be explained and communicated to a person in a way that they can understand it, because not everybody understands a particular language. I've got clients that are Christian, clients that are Muslim, clients that are spiritual, clients that are very scientific. I was going to say atheist, but I don't think I have any clients that don't believe there's a God or that they have a soul or whatever the case may be, right? But even individuals, because I've met individuals that have that perspective, we can still speak on a scientific level. I've learned certain formulas. These are just different equations, different perceptions at looking at the same one truth, how certain things work. I'm not here to talk about how the universe was created, what God is, any of that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm just here to explain how the mind works and how these universal principles that we're all living with function and how we can function with them. So in essence, what I've decided to do, because I've been studying this my whole life since I was a child, I was always watching people like, well, what's he doing? Why is he doing it? How can I avoid that mistake? Studying myself. Why am I good here? Why am I bad there? How are things working with me? What's the best way to move forward with things, you know? Studying. So I've created an instruction manual for how we work as human beings. And this is my life work. Energetic communication. The energy flow between us as humans. How does the mind work with the body? How does the body connect to the soul? How do emotions and thought correlate with one another? And this is what I want to share with the world. And I'm excited to do so, you know? I feel privileged and humbled to be able to share this content and hopefully add some value to your life. Now this series, Mind Elevation series, is going to focus on literally, you know, mind elevation, how to elevate one's mind. So I've broken it down into 3 different categories. First and foremost, we have to rewire the self-image to really elevate, yeah? Because everything that you do is determined by your self-image. We're going to talk about that in a minute. The second thing is you have to release resistance to past traumas, past emotions that you're holding on. Emotions, motion, we need to always break down words, right? Energy and motion. And if this energy is stagnant, it's not energy and motion, it's energy and stagnancy. It gets held in different points in your body. The Chinese map this out with meridian lines. That's why they do acupuncture and focus on qi and tai chi and internal exercises that are really good. Like, I go hard in the yoga centers and clear this body, and it releases all this emotion. It gets the emotions moving again, and it brings it to the surface for you to process it. But you have to understand how to process it. Sometimes people, you go to a therapist or a counselor or whomever you go to, hypnotherapist, and they bring these emotions to the surface, but they don't teach you how to process them, and you get left feeling shit and in pain, and it's hard. Like, emotions are hard to feel. I'm with you. I've been in depression, I've been in the anxiety, I've had worry, I've had fear, I've had all these kind of different emotions. I'm my own, I guess, protege. I study myself. Not protege in terms of teaching myself, even though one teaches oneself also, but I study myself. I've studied my pain. I've overcome addictions. I've overcome escapism. I've overcome loads of things so that I can then speak about it. I'm not just reading from a book and giving you a piece of knowledge here. I'm speaking from something that I've actualized, self-actualization. And I believe self-actualization is what turns into mastery. Mastery is the continuous practice of. So you don't just reach a stable level of mastery and you're like, I am this ascended master now. I mean, maybe you do, you know, in certain stages of your life and in certain places, but I'm definitely not at that state yet, but I'm in mastery. I'm practicing mastery on a continuous basis, continuous practice of. Now, the third thing after, you know, rewiring the self-image and after releasing resistance and processing emotions, the third thing is matching the vibrational frequency of that which you want to attract into your reality. Everything in this universe is made of vibration. Vibration is sound, right? Sound. This cabinet that I've got in front of me, this camera that I'm filming on, this t-shirt, this, you know, this crystal, all of these things, they're vibrating at different frequencies. This crystal is made of the same substance, that's why it vibrates at this frequency. So is this painting behind me, so is this book, so is this bookshelf, so am I. Now, this painting behind me is a beautiful painting, right? You should get one. My cousin makes them. They're incredible. I'll put the description in the link in the bio. This painting isn't going to change vibration on its own. If I burn it, if I chuck it in some water, if I rip it to pieces, the vibration changes, but it's not going to change on its own. You have the power to change your vibration that's inside yourself. Like, really understand that. Like, it just clicked for me on a deeper level, because life's like an onion. You get it, and then you get it on a deeper level, then 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 a deeper level. Depth to everything, right? So life's like this onion. Now, really understand that you can change your vibrational frequency whenever you want. I'm not saying it's easy. Nothing worthwhile comes easy. Life's about contrast, overcoming obstacles. When you overcome things, you get stronger, you appreciate them. Everything you've been given like that, you didn't appreciate. So things need to take time and energy and exertion to come to you. You still got to relax into them, release resistance and flow in abundance, but at the same time, you have to get stronger and stronger and build and overcome challenges in the best way that we can. When we really understand this, that we can change our frequency, we can start to do the work to change our frequency. It's like water. This is a really good analogy. Water, if you freeze it, it turns to ice. If you boil it, it turns to steam. If you leave it at room temperature, it's all liquid and flowy. You're made of 70% water. There's experiments Dr. Emoto did where, you know, look him up. He spoke to water, focused love at it, focused hate at it, and the water particles changed. He froze them. Some were beautifully crystallized and just sexy and beautiful, and some just look like, ugh. It's the best way to describe it, because of the energy that was focused towards the water. And if you're mostly water, you can also shift in such ways. So we need to be very conscious about the vibrations that we're letting out to the universe, because we're literally walking, talking magnets in an electromagnetic universe. And we need to understand this, and we need to flow with it. And a lot of you know this, like I said, but we're going to take that intellectual comprehension and we're going to internalize that into emotional integration. Now, each of those three things that I mentioned are massive concepts in and amongst themselves. And I've got loads of different series I'm going to do and loads of collab series and blah, 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 so on and so forth. But we're going to start with these three main principles. And I was going to try and fit it into one video. And then I realized that that's just not going to happen, especially if I want to really help people integrate it emotionally on a cellular level, right? So we're going to break this down into parts. I don't know how many parts it's going to have. I'm just going to take it as it comes in and flow. But this is part one. So the first thing we're going to start on is the self-image. Firstly, we have to understand what the self-image is. Okay, so we all have a self-image that's programmed into our subconscious mind. Now this self-image determines all of our behavior. The way you look, the way you feel, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you move, the way you dance, right? The level of money you have, your relationships, health, wealth, love, abundance, purpose. All of these things come down to your self-image. You cannot underperform or overperform your self-image. It's impossible. Nothing's impossible, but the only reason that it's not impossible to accomplish anything is because you can rewire your self-image, right? But you cannot under or overperform your self-image. You have to rewire it. And again, some people do this unconsciously, unconscious competence. I'm going to show you how to consciously, competently do it and then get better at that. Because you can be consciously competent, but still, you know, weak in your understanding or your emotional integration. And we want to level that up, and level that up, and level that up until you're just fully competent. And it's a continuous study. I'm studying every day. I'm building, I'm learning, I'm growing every day, you know. Mastery is the continuous practice of. So the first video, just giving you an overview, we're going to go into part 2 where we really break down how to rewire the self-image. Now, competition. If you want to win a free coaching session with myself, for me to help you work through these things and kind of build, elevate yourself, comment. The best comment that resonates the most is going to win a free coaching session. You've also got to like this video. If it's on Facebook, share it. If it's on YouTube, then subscribe, right? So like, subscribe, or share, and comment. The comment that resonates the most, you'll win a free coaching session with myself. If you just want to book a coaching session with myself, I'd be more than happy to do that. My email is charlesmillion@charlesmillion.com. If you want to come down to one of the events, ticket links in the bio, or go to charlesmillion.co.uk. Mwah! Peace and love. I love you all.